Racism is the belief that the genetic factors which constitute race are a primary determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. Racism's effects are called racial discrimination. In the case of institutional racism, certain racial groups may be denied rights or benefits, or receive preferential treatment. Although the term racism usually denotes race-based prejudice, violence, dislike, discrimination, or oppression, the term can also have varying and contested definitions. Racialism is a related term, sometimes intended to avoid these negative meanings. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, racism is a belief or ideology that all members of each racial group possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially to distinguish it as being either superior or inferior to another racial group or racial groups. The Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines racism as a belief that race is the primary determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority or inferiority of a particular racial group, and that it is also the prejudice based on such a belief. The Macquarie Dictionary defines racism as the belief that human races have distinctive characteristics which determine their respective cultures, usually involving the idea that one's own race is superior and has the right to rule or dominate others. Some have also defined it as the mentality that race determines their traits, or the belief that one's race is superior. Some sociologists have defined racism as a system of group privilege. In Portraits of White Racism, David Wellman has defined racism as culturally sanctioned beliefs, which, regardless of intentions involved, defend the advantages whites have because of the subordinated position of racial minorities. Other sociologists define racism as a highly organized system of racist-based group privilege that operates at every level of society and is held together by a sophisticated ideology of color-race supremacy. Sellers and Shelton, 2003, found that a relationship between racial discrimination and emotional distress was moderated by racial ideology and public regard beliefs. That is, racial centrality appears to promote the degree of discrimination African American young adults perceive. Sociologist and former American Sociological Association President Joe Feagin argues that the United States can be characterized as a total racist society. Police harassment and brutality directed at black men, women, and children are as old as American society, dating back to the days of slavery and Jim Crow segregation. Such police actions across the nation today reveal important aspects of the commonplace discriminatory practices of individual whites and white-dominated institutions that allow